Good evening, everyone. Here, Adil is speaking you. Uh, Prana Welfare Society under CSRCD online classes. So, my dear students, today we'll start with history part. Okay. In the last class, we completed about India Indian features, right? Today, let us understand. Okay, world during the world wars. So, most of the students have an idea about the world wars. Okay. So, there were the two world wars occurred in the world in 20th century. 20th century mean from the year 1900 to okay, 1999 called as 20th century. So during this time, so there were two world wars occurred in the world. Okay. So then we'll discuss about the two world wars and so what were the causes of world wars, what consequences of world wars, and after the okay, world wars, what happens. Okay, so there were international organizations set up to preserve peace and preventing wars. Okay, till the formation of international organizations like UNO, means United Nations Organization. Till then, we'll discuss about in this lesson. Okay, let us begin the class right now. It's the 20th century. First of all, what is 20th century? See, most of the students are confusing about 20th century. They may thought that it is from okay, 1999 to okay, means 2000 to 2020 like that. It's wrong. From the year 1900 to 1999. So this is called 20th century. So we are in 21st century, 21st century in the sense of from the year 2000 to okay, 2099. It is called 21st century. Okay, and I hope you got a clarity what is 20th century and 21st century are. Because to avoid the confusion, I am telling you with years, isn't it? From 1900 to 1999, we called it as okay, 20th century. So in this 20th century, the world has seen the two world wars, that is World War I and World War II. Clear? So in order to understand the world wars, let us begin to understand about the 20th century. One of the great historian is named as Eric Hobsbawm. Okay, let you write Eric Hobsbawm. He was a famous historian. Then he called 20th century as age of extremes. Age of extremes. Who called 20th century as age of extremes? First of all, what is meant by age of extremes? Here, age is nothing but from the year 1900 to 1999 is called an age of extremes. Extreme in the sense of in Telugu Sanchalanam. So there were two great world wars occurred. There was a lot of loss happens. There was a human life loss in the world wars. The world has seen there is a huge loss during this time. Okay, that is why he called 20th century as age of extreme. Means from 1900 to 1999, this period is called age of extremes. Who called 20th century as age of extremes is a question. Eric Hobsbawm, a famous historian, called 20th century as age of extremes. Why he called 20th century as age of extremes? Okay, let us understand. See, fascism was growing stronger with unquestioned power. First of all, what does fascism mean? Fascism is an ideology, okay, which was started in European nations after First World War. So many European countries follow this ideology. Now it was an ideology only. Democracy also one of the ideology. Now our country follows democratic ideologies where the elected representatives elected by the people once every 5 years. So here, democracy is one of the ideology. In the same way, fascism also one of the ideology which prevails in European nations after the First World War with unquestioned power. So this ideology set up dictatorship of government across the European countries. Dictatorship means the powers within the leader. No parliament had any power to pass the laws or making any acts. The entire powers within the leader only. A single party should be in the country. The single party has been electing as a ruling party continuously. The people of that particular country doesn't have any choice to elect the representatives, elect any government. Okay, one leader, one government, one party should be continuously rule the nation across the years, means continuously over the years. This type of governments we have seen in the world, particularly in the European countries in 20th century. This is nothing but fascism. Okay, so fascism, one of the ideology which was prevailed in European nations, so established a dictatorial government, dictatorship of government. You know, Hitler well known for you. Hitler was a dictator. As he was established his government with unquestioned power. No one had a right to question against Hitler during his ruling because he followed dictatorship of ideology, fascist ideology it was. Okay, so in 20th century, fascism was growing stronger with unquestioned power. This fascism leads to world wars. Clear? Next to democracy also growing stronger. Democracy also growing stronger. You will know after end of Second World War. You know, the Second World War ended after 1945, isn't it? After Second World War, most of the countries got independence and follow democratic ideology. Best example, India. You know, India got independence in 1947, just after Second World War. No? So along with our country, many countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America followed democratic ideology, where the elected representatives are, where the people had a right to choose a government, to build a government once every 5 years. Instead of fascist ideologies, there was a democratic ideology which was set up after Second World War. That is happened in 20th century only. Okay, from 1900 to 1999 for 20th century now. In 1947, India got independence. Then immediately we frame a Indian constitution and declared the preamble of constitution India as a democratic country, isn't it? So democracy also growing stronger and life expectancy also become high. You know, life expectancy means the length of life of the people. During industrial revolution of 19th century or in the beginning of 20th century, the people faced a lot of problems. The no government taking care of the people, no social welfare activities has done in many European countries. So then the people doesn't live in a happy way it is. Okay, their life expectancy was very low. Okay, during the 20th century, it means the first half of 20th century, right now. So then, after end of Second World War, many countries got independence, and then they focused on for the welfare of the people by providing facilities to the people like infrastructure, like roadways, drinking water, okay, supplied food for them. Isn't the government of India supplying food grains to the poor people not through PDS? Nothing but public distribution system. So this type of welfare activities has taken during 20th century. That is why life expectancy of the people become high. The length of life of the people increased. You know, right now, the life expectancy of Indians were 67 years. The average life expectancy it was. Okay, so it is also one of the reason why he called 20th century as age of extremes, my dear students. Right? Next, literacy levels also becomes high. Literacy levels also become high. Literacy rate. And the literacy rate of people of across the countries in the world is very poor. Because no government focused on to increase literacy rate. No government focused on to build up schools across the nations, especially in European nations. So that the literacy rate was very poor during the time of World War. But after end of World War IV, then the government set up. Okay, the countries demarcated and focused on to set up schools for increasing the literacy rate of a nation. Literacy is one of the key point for socio-economic development. To develop a country in socially and economically, literacy rate or literacy played an important role. Okay, so literacy levels also become high. Okay, and science and technology improved. Science and technology. Science and technology. See, science and technology is well improved. Okay, during after Second World War, the many countries like Russia or America sent the satellites into the space. The first human sent into space who was Yuri Gagarin, and the first satellite was Sputnik 1. So then the countries were concentrated on science and technology to develop their nations. Science and technology played a vital role to develop a nation, isn't it? So he called 20th century as age of extremes, and socialist society also came up. Socialist societies also came up. Best example, USSR, nothing but Russia right now, adopted socialistic ideologies. After First World War, it is. Socialism, nothing but where the people welfare it is, or where the resources should be under the control of people, means used for the welfare of the people. Okay, so the socialist societies also came up in 20th century. So he called 20th century as age of extremes. There is a question. Why Eric Hobsbawm called 20th century as age of extremes? First point, fascism was growing stronger. Second, democracy also growing stronger. Third, life expectancy also become high. Fourth, literacy levels also become high. Science and technology grown up. Socialist societies also came up. So then all these factors enhancing the 20th century as age of extremes. Okay, so let us understand what were the immediate provocations of World Wars. Okay, let us begin the World Wars to discuss about, right? First of all, the student have an idea over the period of First and the Second World Wars. Okay, so both the World Wars occurred in 20th century only. Okay, but two different years are. Let us understand the First World War. First World War, which began in the year 1914 to 1918. First World War. Yes, coming to Second World War, started from 1939 to 1945. So then these two are the periods of World War I and World War II. Let us understand what were the immediate provocations of World Wars and causes of World Wars. First of all, we'll understand what were the immediate provocations of World Wars. So these years are important for examination point of view. You may expect for part B or in 1 mark questions. According to information skill, giving a timeline. Then giving a timeline in the textbook there. In the first page of this lesson, there was a timeline given. Okay, in that particular timeline mentioned about the years and what happens in that particular years given. Okay, in that timeline sequence you have to see itself. Okay, so according to timeline, there may be questions. What was the period of First World War, and what was the period of Second World War? You have to remember the years. The period of First World War 1914 to 18. The period of Second World War from 1939 to 45. So why were these two world wars occurred in the world? What were the reasons behind it? What were the immediate provocations behind it? We'll discuss now. First of all, immediate provocations. Immediate provocations of World War, right? Here, what is immediate provocation? Here, provocation means cause. I mean, immediate cause. Actually, the First World War, which began on in the month of July 1914, with an immediate reason it is. There were so many factors are there. There were so many reasons are there. But the World War, which started with a simple reason it is. With the immediate reason. We'll discuss the immediate reason of the First World War. Then the First World War it is. Okay? Immediate provocation of First World War. See, murder of Ferdinand by a Serbian extremist. On 28th June 1914. See, what was an immediate provocation to World War I? Murder of Ferdinand. First of all, who was Ferdinand? Then he was the Prince of Austria. Austria, not Australia. Austria is a continent. Austria is a country in Europe. Okay. So he was the Prince of Austria. When he visited Serbia, which is the neighboring country of Austria, then he was shot by a Serbian extremist. Then a Serbian extremist who murdered Ferdinand of Austrian prince along with his wife when they were visited on 28th June 1914. But why he was murdered? So there was a reason. We'll discuss about that particular reason in the long-term factors. Okay. So first of all, have to remember that why he was murdered. When what was an immediate provocation to World War I? Murder of Ferdinand, as he was the Austrian prince, by a Serbian extremist on 28th June 1914. It is an immediate provocation to World War I. Very next month, that is on 28th July 1914, the World War I started. Very next month. See, the Austrian government asked Serbia, okay, regarding the murder of Ferdinand, why he was murdered. Okay, asked explanation for the murder of Ferdinand within 48 hours. But no, Serbia responded to Austria. Then immediately Austria attacked on Serbia, or Austria invaded Serbia. So the World War I, which began in between the two small nations, that is Austria and Serbia. Then Austria versus Serbia. Austria and Serbia. So my dear students, these two are the countries belongs to European countries, European continent only it is. So in between the two nations, the World War I started in the beginning. Okay. Later on, so many countries of Europe, so many countries of North and South America, Europe, okay, Africa joined with these two countries. With these two countries, it became World War. You know, in the World War I, yes, America in the east, America in the west, and Japan in the east. Almost all the countries participated except Switzerland. Because that country has a commitment. That country has to be followed peace. Okay, and the people of that particular country doesn't encourage wars. So then, one and only country in Europe was not participated in the World War. Rest of all the countries participated in the First World War. Even our country also. You know, we send 50,000 soldiers to Britain to participate in the World War. 50,000 Indian soldiers, sir, because the British promised to give independence after First World War. So that is why this is the reason we send our soldiers, but they break the promise. Okay, so the World War I, which began in between the two small countries with this simple reason, okay, as was murdered by a Serbian extremist. Okay, we'll discuss about the murder of Ferdinand, why he was murdered in the long-term factor of Midas. Okay, so this is have to remember. So here Austria asked Serbia the reason of the murder of Ferdinand within 48 hours, 2 days time given to Serbia. But no proper explanation, no Serbia responded to Austria, and no report submitted to Austria regarding the death of Ferdinand. Then immediately what happens? Austria invaded Serbia. It is clear. So then the two alliances, like Triple Alliance and Triple Entente, so both of them participated to each other in the World War, isn't it? So actually, it is a war between the two nations in the beginning, but when the countries join, or when the alliance join with these two nations, it becomes World War. Clear? So let us moving on. What was the immediate provocation to World War II? Very simple to remember now. What is the immediate provocation to World War? Just murder of Ferdinand by a Serbian extremist on 28th June 1914. Okay, so the Serbian government, with the unsatisfactory reason, the Austria invaded Serbia on 28th July 1914. This is an immediate provocation to World War I. So let us moving on. The immediate provocation to World War II. So these two immediate provocations we'll expect for public examinations as one mark of sense. Okay. Then coming to World War II. Immediate provocation to World War II, right? Hitler, the ruler of Germany. Hitler invaded on Poland. Hitler invaded Poland on 1st September 1939. So this is the reason for the starting of Second World War, my dears, right? Hitler, he was the ruler of Germany, invaded or attacked on Poland. Actually, Poland is the neighboring country of Germany. Okay, the Hitler wantedly attacked on Poland on 1st September 1939 was an immediate reason or immediate provocation to World War II. So there is a doubt why Hitler attacked on Poland. What was the reason behind it? Yes, there is a reason. Here, Poland rejected to hand over the port of Donjing and Polish corridor. You know, port of Donjing, and Polish corridor. So these two are the territories which belongs to Germany. Okay, but in First World War, Germany defeated, and so many terms and conditions are penalty put forth over Germany in Versailles Treaty in 1919. Okay, this is the reason these two territories, according to Versailles Treaty, put under Poland. Okay, after the Hitler invaded Poland for these two territories. Hitler asked these two territories were handed over to Hitler, but Poland rejected. Poland rejected to hand over the port of Donjing and the Polish corridor. So this is the reason Hitler attacked in Poland. Actually, Hitler wanted to attack in Poland and for expecting Second World War, because Germany, there was a huge loss to Germany, and the Germany wanted to pay huge war indemnities and war penalties in the Versailles Treaty. As the terms and conditions which impose on Germany, Germany has to pay penalty to the victor powers. To avoid these paying penalties, Hitler wantedly entered into Second World War with this simple reason. Okay, he asked these two territories, but the Poland did not agree to hand over. This is the reason then Hitler attacked Poland, and the World War II started in between Germany and Poland. Okay, in between Germany and Poland. The first World War in between Austria versus Serbia. The second World War in between Germany versus Poland. It is. That is all. The so many countries joined. Okay, Allied powers and Axis powers I told you just now. So these two Allied and Axis powers, both of them joined to each other countries. It became World War again. Okay, at last the World War II. World War II started on 1st September 1939, runs to 1945 till 1945. That is why you have to remember the period of Second World War was 1939 to 45, my dears. Clear? So let us understand what were the long-term factors of world wars. Just now we discussed about what were the immediate provocations of world wars or immediate reasons for the world wars. Okay, now order of Ferdinand and Hitler attacked Poland. Clear? Next to long-term factors are long-term factors. See, first of all, we'll discuss about long-term factors one by one. Then after we'll discuss deeply, right? First one, aggressive nationalism. Aggressive nationalism. Next, second reason, imperialism. Next, third reason, secret alliances. Fourth reason, militarism. And fifth reason, Balkan politics. Balkan politics. Right. So these five are the long-term factors of world wars. Long-term factors of world war. So just now we discussed about the immediate provocations and it is. Why the first and second world war immediately started. What was the reason behind it? We discussed right now. So there were so many factors are there. There are so many reasons are there behind the two world wars. Clear? See, the countries which are belongs to European nations were the main reasons for world wars. Main reason because the industrial revolution which began in 18th century in European nations only. You know, England is known as the factory of the world. It is, isn't it? So this is the world factory. It was means from England, the rest of the countries in the world learn how to set up industries, how to develop industrially from England itself. Okay, so that is why industrial development which began in European nations. Okay, this is one of the reasons for the world wars. It is clear. So we'll discuss about these reasons or the factors one by one. First one, aggressive nationalism. First of all, aggressive mean so declaring a war, wantedly it is, or angered on the neighboring country, angered it is. See, nationalization, nationalism, which set up a positive impulse over the European nation, positive impulse. Tell them no countries were complete nations are. You know, we'll discuss about our country. During the British period, India was not a complete nation. We called India as a British India it is. Because we ruled by the British. After independence, India became a complete nation by integration of all the princely states into Indian Union. And when was India become a union of a country? When India became a complete nation? After independence only. Okay. In the same way, European countries also were not complete nations during the world wars. Particularly the World War I. Okay. So many kingdoms are there. That's the example Germany, Italy. Okay. Germany, Italy, both the nations divided into small kingdoms. So then these two countries which were integrated by the great leaders. For example, we'll discuss about the German unification. You know, when was Germany unified? In 1870 by Bismarck. Actually, he was the leader of Germany. Okay, then he trying to integrate the German kingdoms into a complete nation by invading on neighboring countries, where those kingdoms okay, control over them. For example, he invaded Denmark, he invaded Austria, he invaded France. At last, by 1870, he was integrated Germany as a complete nation. Okay, and one more different ideology which was seen okay in the World War, means by end of First World War, that is fascism, Nazism. Fascism, Nazism which set up dictatorial governments over European countries. First, it was started in Italy, that spread from Germany to okay almost all European countries. See, this is the ideology which was followed by European nations. You know what happens with this ideology? Then the leaders of those countries set up a dictatorship of government and with unquestioned power. You know, people of those countries doesn't have any power to question the government. As I told you that India, okay, is a democratic country. In our country, we have a right to question the government. We have a right to build a government, even dismantle also. Now, once every 5 years, we are building a government now by conducting elections, and also we have a not interested to continue the same government in the next term, will dismantle, isn't it? So this is the power of the people in democratic countries. But this type of opportunity doesn't have for the European countries, European people, because they followed dictatorial government, a dictatorship of ideas like fascism and Nazism. So this type of ideologies which prevent over the European nations okay, make a negative impulse over the countries, and those countries can invade to each other for the formation of their own nation states, okay, for industrial development. So many reasons for that. Here, what is happened? The European nations each other conflicted. This is the reason the World War I and World War II. Okay, the World War I and World War II occurs because of aggressive nationalism. This is one of the reasons. Okay, well, while the formation of nation states, while okay spreading the ideals of fascism, Nazism, then there is the countries which felt aggressive with other countries. So that this is the reason then the war started in between the okay, nations. Next, imperialism. See, by the growth of industrial revolution, the countries like Britain, France, USA needed raw materials and for their markets. First of all, they required raw materials for processing goods. Okay, and after processing the goods which has to be sold in the markets. So they need countries for raw materials and also selling their products in those countries for their markets. So this is the reason in 18th century, so many European countries like Britain, France, okay, US set up their colonies across the countries in Asia, Africa and Latin America. We'll discuss about our country. India was the colony of Britain. You know, the British came to our country for trade in 18th century. Okay, in 1600 they came to our country, but they have to continue their ruling till 1947. Okay, then the British set up a political supremacy over India and ruled as long as possible. This is the best example to understand what is imperialism. See, Nana, they brought our raw materials, okay, and after processing the raw materials as the goods, they sell in our Indian markets, isn't it? During Vande Mataram movement, okay, what a slogan given by the national leaders, you know, okay, boycott the foreign goods. Why we need to boycott? Because the goods which manufactured in the foreign countries with our raw materials, no, that is being boycotted in Vande Mataram movement. So imperialism is one of the reason for the world wars. Okay, so because of this reason, the well-developed countries like US, Britain, France, questioned by developing nations like Italy and Germany regarding for dividing the colonies. Most of the colonies of Asia, Africa, Latin America under the control of European countries, except Germany and Italy. So now Germany and Italy asked dividing the colonies. for them also. So while Italy, Germany questioned France, okay, Britain, USSR and USA, there was a war in between the countries started regarding to capturing the power, regarding to capturing the colonies across Asia, Africa and Latin America. So imperialism is one of the factor for world wars. Clear? Next, third one, secret alliances. There were two group of countries which formed because of world wars. There were Triple Entente, Triple Entente, and Triple Alliance. Triple Alliance. Here, what is Triple Entente? Triple Entente nothing but a group of countries which formed in the year 1882 with Germany, Italy, Austria, okay, and Hungary, Turkey also. See, Germany, Italy, Austria, Hungary, and Turkey are the countries in Triple Entente. Triple Entente is one of the secret alliance. Okay. Next, Triple Alliance. Triple Alliance is one of the group of countries which formed in 1907. 1907 with Britain, France, USA, and USSR. Britain, France, US, and USSR are the countries in Triple Alliance. So these two are the group of countries suspicious to each other because they were secret alliances, secretly formed. No one knows about these alliances. You know, the Triple Entente countries don't know about the Triple Alliance, and Triple Alliance country doesn't know about Triple Entente. But the head of the Triple Entente was Germany. Head of the Triple Alliance was Britain, isn't it? So these two group of countries which fall in the World War and it continues to 1989 till end of the First World War. Clear? So this is what secret alliances. Okay. So tomorrow in the class we will discuss about next two factors. So my dear students, till then what we discussed, what were the factors when immediate provocations of World Wars, and what are the long-term factors of World Wars? Of three we discussed. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the next two factors and why 20th century called as age of extremes. Okay, my dears. Okay, thank you all. Have a nice day.